Well, hello and welcome back to the Moviegoers Society podcast. I'm Sean Tajipour, the Mayor of Nerdtropolis, here with my co-host Drew Munhausen, the professional media and movie mastermind. And tonight, we're heading back into the digital frontier with Tron Ares, the long-awaited chapter in Disney's high-tech saga. Drew just came back from a screening. We have a lot to dive into. But Drew, Emmanuel asked us this question about Peacemaker. We're not talking Peacemaker, so let's just let him down easily. We're not going to talk about it. I did watch it. You did not.
Yeah, it just came out tonight, and I was in the movie, so no, I haven't. You want me to see Tron Ares, or want me to watch Peacemaker? I can.
You gotta watch
get
everything.
So much time in the night.
You gotta consume everything, anything. I will tell you this: I had my review of the first few episodes of Peacemaker. I did not like it. Still feel the same after finishing the season.
Interesting. And see, I've watched every episode except the finale that just came out tonight, and I've actually really been enjoying this season. So I just need to finish it. And
I've liked like 2 episodes.
What was that?
I just like 2 episodes of it, and it's only because it broadens. It's like outside of Peacemaker. Anything that's like not Peacemaker, I like about the show, if that makes sense.
I very much like the vibe of Peacemaker, and yeah, I don't think the finale is going to change the fact that I've really liked this season so far. I don't think the finale can do anything that's going to make me turn on it. I've enjoyed it, but I will watch the finale after this podcast, and just message me about it, because this is the Moviegoers Society. We talk about going to the movies. It's exactly in the name, and
which you just came back tonight. From. You did. You went to the movies. But before we do dive into all of that, Drew, job well done on your Shelby Oaks interview. I have put that together. It's going live Saturday, but I have to applaud you, man. That's a really good interview. You did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was like pretty nervous about it, mostly from a technical perspective.
No, it turned out great. It worked. Don't worry about it. It worked. It's
good.
It's good. It's good. I was proud of you. Really great conversation. She seemed to have a great time too with it. And yeah, that's like your first junket pretty much, right? Like your first like
it was.
Oh yeah, that's exciting. And
yeah, Camille Sullivan, she was lovely. And this is a movie that I saw, Shelby Oaks. I saw it at Fantastic Fest. I really liked it. Kind of a cool blending of filmmaking techniques in the genre. Like you have like some Blair Witch style, like found footage style, but you have documentary, and then you have kind of traditional horror. It does a lot, and I enjoyed it. I think it's kind of a little hidden gem. I'm going to be interested to see if it gets a little bit of a cult following in its own right.
I will say this: I went last night to watch Roofman. I have that review on the website, but Shelby Oaks had a screening as well. And dude, I have not seen a line out the door, around the corner, around the theater for something like any film. Honestly, it felt like it was a Marvel film.
Oh, good.
And it was stacked. Biggest line I've ever seen, honestly, of recent times, for early screening. So a lot of excitement there, I will say. Shelby Oaks review from Drew is on Nerdtropolis. Roofman review is on Nerdtropolis. I'm exhausted, Drew, because I just came back from LA.
I am very aware.
For those that don't know, Netflix flew me out to LA to check out del Toro's Frankenstein. So I went to the Netflix campus, went to the Tajipour Theater, which was awesome, and then spent the next day with the cast and director himself. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see how this is gonna go. Yeah, there we go. So I got to hang out with Guillermo del Toro, Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, and Mia Goth. Got to do the press conference, and they actually allowed me to get on the mic and ask my question. They liked my question for Oscar Isaac. Did roundtables with Mia Goth and the costume designer, and then one of the other cast members and the drawing a blank, the cinematographer and the composer as well. So a lot of Frankenstein stuff coming your way, but I do have my review of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein on Nerdtropolis. But dude, Guillermo is awesome. Like he just felt like he knew me already. It was weird. We're like nerding out together. Got to talk to him about a few things. I told him how Hellboy 2 is one of my favorites because it came out on my birthday, and that's a film my father and I went together to watch. And then I got to give him props for Tales of a Arcadia, that Troll Hunter show on Netflix that he helped create, which is fantastic. It's a really cool world. And he was like, yeah, it's gonna get darker. So he said he was a big nerd. I took the pin off my lapel and gave it to him. He loved it, and he like wore it all day, press conference, all the junkets. He got the Nerdtropolis pin.
I thought that was so cool. I saw the picture of him, during the press conference wearing the pin. You could clearly see it.
It's a big one.
I thought that was really cool.
I didn't think he was gonna put it on. I was like, here you go. He's like, I'm putting this on now. So he was super awesome. I mean, everyone was. Oscar Isaac, dude, so much awesome swag and drip, like with that outfit he was wearing. Super awesome guy. Great in this role. I know we're talking Tron, but I gotta get this out of the way because it's so fresh. Jacob Elordi plays the creature. Super tall guy. I'm about 6'1", and look at him, he's towering over me. He's a fun guy. He loved my shirt, so I actually had a sticker and a pin I gave him, and he was like, "Oh man, I love this!" And so it's exciting. And Mia Goth is a true talent. I think she is really underrated. She's a talented actress. But I'll share more. I don't want to bore y'all too much with Frankenstein. We'll get to that when the time comes.
I'm really eager to see it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's out on Netflix in November, and then I got all excited because it said October 17th on Wikipedia. I was like, but that's its limited theatrical run. That's not Netflix, so I have to wait a little bit longer.
But I did catch Tron in IMAX 3D in LA. I swung by the world premiere. I didn't have access to that, obviously, but I was so close by. I went to that and then went to my screening. But it was crazy. It was very cool to see how it was set up. So that was super awesome. Before we dive into Tron Ares, Drew, if it's okay, I'd like to do some show and tell of some cool stuff that got mailed my way. I got to just show it off and kind of.
I like swag. I'm cool with this.
Swag. Does the Labubu's exist in your family? Are we staying away from Labubu's?
Labubu's. What? I don't know what you mean.
You're that far removed from Labubu's. Okay.
I guess so.
Labubu's are something you've been seeing on a bunch of people's backpacks, purses. They're those little Furby looking things.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking it up. Yes, I've seen these.
I got sent from Simon and Schuster, who makes a lot of books and stuff like that. The Lafufu, which is the ripoff of the Labubu coloring book. Which is really cool. And then there's also a Christmas themed Lafufu coloring book that you can get. They send this my way, and I know some people that are big fans of Labubu Lafufus and coloring. But just FYI, anyone that has Labubu lovers in their family, friends, they have these fun coloring books that you can get. It says, it's funny, on this holiday one, it says spend the holiday season with your favorite knockoffs, because Lafufus are like the knockoff versions of the real thing. So that's hilarious right there, I must say. Also, what is now, I believe, on 4K Ultra HD, I think Ballerina is out now.
Ooh, yeah,
World
nice.
of John Wick. Ballerina is out. I really like this cover art. I mean, that is awesome. You got Lance. I love that Lance is on here. I just love it. It's the trio plus on the Armis.
Is that the regular or is that a steel book? I couldn't.
It's
tell.
not a steel book, but it's a really nice slip cover.
Yeah, all the John Wick movies have had nice slip covers. I think I own the first 4 on 4K, and they all, or at least my copies of 3 and 4 have really nice slip covers on.
Yeah, that's super nice. Also, you can also find The Bad Guys 2 on 4K now for home release. This is a really great movie. Really great. A lot of fun. Great for the big kids, small kids, adults, whatever you want to call it. So that is also
good movie.
Now.
I enjoyed it.
So you got 2 varieties right there. And then I believe this is already out because Peanuts just turned 75 years old. And they have this Ultimate TV Special Collection on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's
this
cool.
has 40 classic TV specials. The only way you can really watch Peanuts is on Apple TV Plus, and not everyone has that. But if you want to get this for the Ultimate Peanuts lover, they have that, the Ultimate TV Special Collection. So I'm a big Peanuts fanatic. Had to have this. An easy way to watch your Peanuts favorites, especially with the holidays coming up. They have a lot of fun specials for that. That is my show and tell, folks. Drew, thank you for indulging me in that. Actually, I have one more show and tell. Let's do one more, because as we jump into Tron Ares, I had to pick up this popcorn bucket.
Oh, nice. And it's the arcade cabinet. That's cool. That's cool. Where does
It,
it open? Where does the show me where
I
the
know, right?
popcorn
You're
goes
like,
in?
where does this open up? And I was confused. And I'm like, there's the power and stuff. So apparently it's in here. There you go, where the battery is.
Just like myself, it is powered by popcorn.
But this one's really cool. I mean, I had to get this one. There's the Tron Cycle one, but like, we'll get into it. I like the Tron Cycle, but it's not this nostalgic. Means I like the arcade cabinet. I mean, I thought that's pretty cool. So I will say that's lights on, lights
Very
off.
nice. Very nice. I like that. That's a good one. I like a lot of them are getting to be more like this, but the popcorn buckets that work for as shelf art in its own way.
As you can see behind me, there's a few sneaking around. I'm covering a few of them, but I got the Galactus one, the Bat Signal. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, the Ghostbusters, everything else. But yeah, now on to Tron Ares. I saw this one, Drew. The only way I think you should have, and I think you kind of missed out, is in glorious IMAX 3D. Same way I watched Tron Legacy back in 2010, a film, honestly, Drew, that didn't get much love for whatever reason, and then found like more of a following afterwards. I don't know if it did well at the box office. It got like panned by critics, I believe, which I don't know why.
I remember that too, because I saw it in theaters and really liked it. And then I remember being kind of surprised after the fact to learn that, like, oh wait, people didn't like this.
Yeah, strange, but yeah, Tron Legacy. I love that you have Daft Punk leading the way. But in this film, you know, I really liked the immersion in IMAX 3D. I thought it was fantastic, especially with the sound design, returning to the grid. But you saw this in regular format, correct? Just what was it, like Onyx?
Yeah, I saw it in Onyx, which for those that aren't aware, Onyx is like there's not very many of these theaters throughout the country, but Onyx it's an LED cinema, so it's not projector. It's a giant LED screen. So the colors really pop and the shadows are dark and it looks really, it's like having a really nice OLED TV in your home. But imagine that, the size of a movie screen. And so I saw
So do you think this
is a premium format.
So did you think this format really enhanced this type of film? You thought
I did. I mean, it looked really good. The colors popped, especially with it being so dependent on like the reds and the lighting and everything. I thought it looked phenomenal on the screen that I saw.
Okay, that's good to hear. I'm actually gonna watch this movie again this coming Sunday. I want to watch it again in IMAX 3D, and we're gonna have some people, some fellow friends and fellow Nerdtropolis people come join us. For me, big Tron fan. I felt like this is like a coming home thing. I can't believe it's 15 years since the last Tron film. Tron's like a digital religion to many of us. The FX is awesome. The lighting. I love the Nine Inch Nails score. I thought it was brilliant to bring him on board with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They scored so many great films. I know Challengers is probably your favorite one they've done.
Yes.
And the people say The Social Network. I really love Mutant Mayhem.
The Challenger score is so good.
Mutant Mayhem's pretty good too. Don't sleep on the Ninja Turtles one.
It is. No, that's great.
Yeah, and I thought the 3D moments that I don't think we got enough were really in your face. But Drew, with your type of non-IMAX setup, how did the visuals and sound play together in that type of Onyx screening?
It was great. I mean, it's a big theater. Like I said, it is a premium format. At the theater I went to, they have like a bunch of regular theaters, and they have an the Dolby Atmos theater, and they have an Onyx theater, and so I saw it in Onyx. So it is like considered premium. The sound in my theater was incredible. My seat was pulsing with the music, which that's what you really want for something like this because it enhances the experience. I'm not a huge 3D fan in general. I never really have been. Back in the like 2010, when it was like every movie was coming out in 3D.
Do you remember Beowulf in 3D? Do you remember Beowulf when that came out? That was in 3D.
I do. And here's a little tidbit. So in college, I worked at a movie theater in Oklahoma during the summer, and it was actually a really nice theater, one of the nicer ones in the state. And we had at that theater during this rush of 3D, they had, instead of having the disposable glasses, that you would just get in like a pack and, have your glasses that then you would toss into the big cardboard looking things you'd see at theaters when you were done. This theater, we had our own glasses that every showing you'd have, the people would get glasses. They were nice. And when you were done, you turned them back in and we would have to go and sterilize them and everything because we reused them and they were like really nice glasses. We'd have these huge racks of them. And that was a really interesting time in movies. That's not really a thing anymore where you have like where theaters have their own set of glasses, but that's what we did. And that's when just literally every movie that was coming out
was
3D.
Like, and you don't see it, but honestly,
3D.
The only films that you should really see in 3D are Avatar films and Tron films, and I can't think of anything else, honestly, that I've watched in 3D.
I honestly couldn't tell you what the last movie I saw in 3D was. I feel like there was something I did see a few years ago, and I was surprised, like, oh, this actually looks pretty good. So, I'm not like super, super anti, but it's just, if I can see it in a different premium large format that's not 3D, that's my preference. I do understand how seeing this in IMAX 3D would be a benefit to the experience. But I don't know if it would really add that much as opposed to just seeing it in IMAX. But maybe I'm being naive. I don't know. Tell me.
We'll get into a little bit of that, but in Tron Ares, the story takes us to a new territory the franchise has never been into. It's like, I guess it's 15 years later after, like, I think it really is a true, like, follow-up years wise. It's quite some time since Legacy, kind of jumps forward quite a bit. Ares is a sophisticated program played by obviously Jared Leto, sent to the digital world into the real one on a dangerous mission. It is a fascinating setup, but there's that big gap between Legacy and Ares. I just kind of was like, I guess we have to accept it. We have to accept that we're not going to be talking about really what's going on. In the beginning, they do kind of give us a little bit of backstory of what is happening since Legacy, but I had more questions than
there's like a really fast montage at the beginning that kind of info dumps on you, like, here's where we're at now. And even I was trying to trying to connect the dots and figure out what's going on. As the movie plays out, I think you get a pretty clear idea, but in the beginning I was a little bit overwhelmed, to be honest.
Yeah, and I just have to accept it. Like, this is not like a straight sequel to Legacy. I thought the director, what is it, Joachim Rønning, he did the Woman in the Water, that one film that came out last year with Daisy Ridley.
Yes, and you were very high on that movie,
and I liked it, so I was excited for it. And I thought he did a great job for what he had. The visuals, the style. My biggest issue with this film, Drew, was like the screenplay. Definitely felt wonky. I looked at like who wrote it. I'm like, it's people that don't even have that much of experience per se. I think the writers are behind the Daredevil show for Disney Plus, and they don't have like the biggest, the longest resume. I really wanted this movie to have stronger ties to Legacy, like as much as possible, and we just kind of glossed over it. And I really think it puts the director in a corner, kind of giving a halfway done story or a halfway story, because I felt like this was like I call this, okay, so Tron 1.0, Tron Legacy, Tron 2.0. Tron Ares is like Tron 2.65 to me. Yeah. It's a weird filler film, but it's fun. And he tries so hard to kind of make something out of a story that's not fully there for the Tron fans. So how did you feel about the story overall, Drew? Did you think it balanced the ideas well from previous films, or too focused on something that's kind of disconnected from the world of Tron that we're used to?
I feel like it kind of does the obvious thing that you have to do with the franchise here, right? Like, you have Tron, the original, you have Tron Legacy, which it's in the title, right? It's Flynn's son trying to find Flynn and kind of doing the Legacy sequel thing that we've been getting across all kinds of franchises for the past 15 years. This is commonplace now. It's the big thing then was in 2010, as far as effects had come from the 80s when the original Tron came out, it's like, here's a chance to do Tron with some really cool big effects. Well, now 15 years later, the effects have gotten even better. which is great. But then the obvious thing to do is how do you get Tron and elements of Tron in the computer world into the real world? And so I don't even think that's like lazy or anything. I think that's just, it's obvious. So that's what you do. I'm
Well, it's
kind
how
of
the
with
last
you.
film ended too.
Right.
Is that Garrett Hedlund's character and Olivia Wilde, Phil Flint's son, they came into the real world, and then all of a sudden you'll get that story kind of in the beginning of Tron Ares, but then it's just kind of glossed over that he has left the company on personal reasons, and we don't know what those personal reasons are.
Yeah, you see like magazine covers, like he has stepped down.
Yeah, and obviously he did not. I don't think they could come to terms of him returning. He's also busy with Tulsa King, like really busy with Tulsa King. Olivia Wilde just maybe didn't fit in this, and we'll get to the Olivia Wilde part of it. Jeff Bridges was supposed to be a surprise cameo, but then he like revealed that he was in the movie, so then that's why he's a part of all the
I have
marketing.
thoughts on that whole thing later too.
Yeah, I mean, not trying to run forward, but let's talk about who's in the film and their performances. Drew, obviously Jared Leto, the lead of this film as Ares. A lot of people have love-hate relationship with him. I like him in everything he does. A lot of people don't like him for whatever reason. I think he's great in this role. Actually, I actually am fine with him as Ares, taking the lead of this franchise as this program. He's fit for this type of world. I like it. And then you have Evan Peters, who plays Dillinger's grandson, the adversary to Jeff Bridges' Flynn. And I thought he was a great addition as well. And I thought Evan Peters great in this. Obviously, we have Jeff Bridges. I'm glossing over this, Drew, before we dive into it. Then we have Jeff Bridges in limited screen time, but also a very important part of this film, just kind of piecing things together to previous ones. But also, Drew, outside of that, the cast is lackluster. Can we at least agree on that? I'm a fan of Greta Lee. I am, but she does not fit in this role. And then you have Hassan.
And see, I'm like the opposite. Like Greta Lee's the only one I walk out of this being like, I like Greta Lee.
I like her, but some of the moments did not work for me. As her position, like the position of the CEO, I liked it. But really leading the charge alongside Leto, I thought was a mismatch. I thought they were a mismatch together. I liked her role, but I didn't think it needed to be front and center. And then you have Arturo Castro, who's just, I'm sorry to say it, he's a joke to me in this film. I'm going to say it. Like, I did not see him needing to be in this film. And same with Hassan, what's his name? Hassan Minhaj.
Hassan Minhaj. He's such a nothing part in this movie, too.
Exactly. And
for somebody who I actually really like Hassan Minhaj,
yeah,
in general,
I like him all.
He's funny, and he's just not utilized in this movie at all.
This film was just strange when the casting, and then you have I forget who is Jodie Turner-Smith, right? Is that who's Athena? Who is Athena?
Yes.
This is Athena, right? Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
that's her.
I was like, that was a flat. Like, can we get some bigger?
She had
names?
a cool look, though. She at least had a striking look.
But we needed some bigger names, and I think a bigger personalities from these people. Like Athena was not a great, I guess you can call villain. Was really flat for me. I didn't think she could go toe to toe. I didn't think it was great. I just wasn't believable for me. I know I'm like rambling on the cast, and I'm going to ask Drew this question, but I thought the budget went mostly to Leto, which is fair to some extent, but maybe they couldn't afford anyone else on his tier. We need more star power to balance this film out. So I need to know, Drew, your overall take on the cast. Who stood out to you? You just said Greta Lee, but who else? And do you think this world deserves more recognizable talent than what we got?
Jared Leto is black licorice for me. Some people love it. It's an acquired taste. I'm not a fan in general. I do think he's at least interesting. Like if you look at his filmography, especially post Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club, like I love Blade Runner 2049, and he's in that. And I'm not a fan of what he was doing as the Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League and DC over there. House of Gucci, he's like a cartoon character.
He's great in that. I like that. I mean, his role. He goes all out. He has talent. You can't say he's not talented and he's not a leading man.
I like when he's being weird to an extent, just because it's like sometimes it is almost like a train wreck you can't look away from. So like I appreciate that. In this, I feel like I think you kind of praising his performances also like speaks to him in general, in the sense that yes, he's good at playing like a soulless AI, computer computer program, and because that's what he has to do here. And he is good at that, like kind of playing this soulless character. So it's like him being good at this is almost like a knock against him in a way. But he does at least have presence and things in this movie. And to his credit, the long hair, the suit, he looks good in it all. Like, so like there's presence there, but he wasn't doing anything here to like knock me out of my socks. He's being a soulless AI. He's a program, not an AI, I guess.
Yeah, he's a program, and I gotta also have some blame on the screenplay and the writing that didn't really deliver the best lines, the best stuff for him. And
I didn't really get to comment as much on that because, like, I'm with you. I think that the first half of this movie, when it's kind of setting things up, I was more interested in the plot and, okay, they found a way to make these programs be in the real world, but they can only be around for a limited amount of time before they break down. So everybody's on the hunt for this code, which this is the kind of stuff I thought was really silly from a screenwriting perspective, that it's like you have the permanence code and just the name of that and what it is, and it's like just this kind of MacGuffin code that they're after, because if you have this code, it makes these programs not break down, right? They can exist in perpetuity. And
sorry, real quick, which I'm assuming is what Olivia Wilde's character in Legacy had.
Sure. I mean, I did not rewatch Legacy.
I need to rewatch it.
This, so
we need to. We should have.
I saw Tron Legacy twice in theaters and maybe once after it came out, but I haven't seen it since. So I haven't seen it in 14 years probably. But so I can't remember that well. But like all that stuff, I thought was kind of silly, and then, but I was at least interested. The second half, I feel like it just kind of gets into. There's just a lot of stuff happening all at once. And that's fine for the most part, because I was at least entertained and it all looks really good. I think that's where the movie excels the most. But no, this is not a movie that's going to be remembered for its plotting or for its acting or characters. It's going to be remembered for light cycle chases, in the streets in the real world. And that's, I think, kind of a high point of the movie. Jared Leto, fine. I like Greta Lee. We didn't really did you talk about Evan Peters really? Because he's kind
just
of
real quick,
here.
as Dillinger, yeah.
I mean, he's fine. He's playing like kind of just a stereotypical villain. I'm trying to think, has he done this before? Has he done the villain like this before to this degree?
Not like a tech guy. Like CEO.
Yeah, I was trying to see.
But it worked. Like he's like a Nepto baby. Like his grandfather and his mom's there. His mom is played by what's her name from X-Files?
It's Gillian Anderson plays the mom in a really thankless role. And I like Gillian Anderson a lot. And I was like, man, this is a tough go for you in this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, she's a big name, but she doesn't have much of a role in it. Would have been nice. You know who's in this film that is like in it for 5 seconds? Oh man, he's the one that's in the Star Wars video games.
Cameron Monaghan. Yes, I saw his name in the opening credits. I was like, oh, cool, good for him. He's in this. And then he shows up for a scene. I'm like, all right, there he is. And then I don't think I ever saw him again for the movie. And he's like pretty high build in the credits.
What I'm saying. Like, he would have been an awesome addition as well as something like as if he was like kind of like the villain at the same time, like from the Grid would have been awesome too. Yeah, it was just weird. But finish your thought. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think that you have Jared Leto, who is not really able to emote much in this movie because of the role, and you have Greta Lee, who I really like, but she's not. I think she has a sense of comedic timing because she does have some moments of comedy in the movie, but like that's not her. At least from what I've seen of her so far in her career, like that's not what she's known for. So then they kind of try to hastily surround them with like, well, here's some comedians, here's Sasan Minaj and here's Arturo Castro, as you mentioned, and like, and those parts just really don't work, and don't really add anything. Jodie Turner-Smith is as Athena, as you mentioned, is like has a cool look and presence, but like she's just playing the inverse Jared Leto. She's also soulless robot, but bad, but mean. So it's like it's tough because I think people are doing what they can, but like with the material provided here, going back to the screenplay, as you've said, like there's only so much you can do with it.
Yeah, and obviously my biggest gripe is we spent too much time in this real world, and no one watches Tron for the real world. But I understand the concept where the digital world entering ours, but the grid is where the Tron world thrives. It's the best part of Tron.
Right.
It's a glowing sandbox with circus, those identity discs, and we see a lot of that, which is awesome. And we do visit it, well, not as much as I wanted. That digital magic that made Legacy so cool. Like we spent so much time in there in Legacy and it looked awesome. And then when we re-entered it, a lot has changed. I had questions. I was trying to figure out how it all works out. And obviously we had Jeff Bridges return, and I was just kind of confused and couldn't figure out like, how is he in this version of the grid? And I need to rewatch Legacy. There's just so many questions I have. Maybe I just I mentally maybe I dozed off watching the film, so that's why I'm going to watch it Sunday and get all my questions hopefully answered.
It does feel like it was kind of shoehorned in there.
Yeah.
When Legacy came out, Bridges was kind of having his own little renaissance in theater. Like he was in Iron Man as the villain, and then it was like boom. Then he won an Oscar for Crazy Heart, and then he's in Tron Legacy and True Grit, and all of a sudden it was like this second coming of Bridges, and then that I feel like has kind of petered out a little bit since then. He's been in a few movies. I mean, he really hasn't been in any movies at all in the past. Gosh, the last like real movie he was in was Bad Times at the El Royale in 2018. Really? Otherwise, he's been in documentaries since. And I know he has that show, The Old Man, that I've heard really good things about. I've never watched it. So he's been doing that post 2020. But I mean, I guess he's just kind of slowed down.
You would have thought if they're going to advance the Tron area, like the Tron franchise, they really would have used him more than just kind of a cameo. And I'm looking forward to rewatching this movie. I know it seems like we're crapping on it, but honestly, I gave it a good rating. I'm just now talking about some of my gripes. It has not become my favorite Tron movie, I must say. And let's not forget about that animated show, Tron Uprising. I'm not sure if you've seen that. I think you can watch that on Disney Plus. And that's a great like in between. It's a prequel, I believe, to Legacy, and it shows you what happened before Legacy happened, and it's fantastic. So Tron Uprising, check that out. I forget how many episodes it is, but it's really awesome. But I really wanted. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that Ares, it's just in the format that we're talking about it here. It's a little difficult because I think the things that work best about the movie are visual. And I agree with some of your gripes of like, it's a lot of time in the real world. And I think the movie pops when it's in the digital world, especially in the scene with Bridges. It's a little bit more of like a retro version of that world. And when that happened, I was like, ooh, it kind of popped in the way that they make Leto look in that world. I thought it looked pretty cool. But yeah, when they're in the digital world, you're kind of like, oh, this is interesting. But there is.
Did you notice that there wasn't a lot of people, like a lot of people in the streets? Did you feel like it was like quiet in the city?
Yeah, yes, I would agree. Other than the chase scenes where there's a lot of cars, but still not a lot of people. Yeah, it's tough because the visuals are probably the biggest strengths of the movie. When you start delving into the characters and the performances and the writing and the plotting, it's like that's kind of the stuff where the movie's lacking a little bit. If you want to go see some really cool visuals on a big screen, go see this in IMAX 3D, as Sean said. Go see it if you can't do that, go see it in Dolby Atmos, or go see it in whatever premium large format you can, because I do think it's kind of a feast for thine eyes. You're gonna find something to enjoy there. Like I said, the movie to me peaks with a big light cycle chase, which that takes place in the real world, but it's cool. Like the light cycles in the real world, the design of them and the suits look awesome.
They do. And I'm laughing because of that chase scene, the one where Greta Lee has to pick up the bike.
Yep.
And then Athena's chasing. I thought that was a ridiculous scene.
I laughed at the going around in circles.
Well, I laughed for many things. I just thought it was a poor scene. I just thought it was a waste of a scene. Too comedic, weird. I was just like, that's kind of cringy. That was a very cringy scene to me. I would just say that. That's what I'm laughing about. Yeah, the movie is awesome. The Nine Inch Nails track is amazing. And this movie gets kind of sluggish at times, or nothing's really happening. And the soundtrack makes you feel like something important's happening. Kind of gets you going when it's like not much happening, which is good. So the soundtrack does help a lot, kind of keeping you intrigued and kind of focused on what's happening when honestly not much is happening. But right. I loved it. I mean, I love the soundtrack. It's very strange for me though, when Daft Punk was so great in Legacy. This one quite isn't as amazing as the Daft Punk one, but for this version of Tron with Ares, it worked. But I just wish there was more digital world stuff with that soundtrack. I thought that's what it worked best. When they're in the real world, yeah, that's where the soundtrack worked best for me. But I can't wait to watch it again, honestly, because it's really great visually. It just lacked a screenplay.
I want to ask you, Sean, what do you think for the future of Tron? What? I guess I'm kind of interested to see. This movie allegedly cost a lot, and I have not looked at any of the box office tracking. I don't know what it's supposed to do, and it doesn't really matter. But I think that Tron was kind of this weird Disney cult movie from the 80s, and I think we were all surprised when it was getting a sequel in the 2010s, and that movie came out and I liked it, and it made me visit the first movie for the first time around when that was coming out. And but Tron Legacy underperformed, and so I think back then in 2010 we thought, well, it was fun to bring it back, but I guess that's it for Tron. And now here we are in 2025 getting a new Tron movie. And obviously Disney has some investment in this IP. Well,
they have
they
have the ride too. They have the new ride.
Right. The big roller coaster, I think, just opened within the last year or two. It looks really awesome. I've heard that coaster has gotten reviewed really well. And I'm excited to hopefully one day go and ride that coaster because I love roller coasters. But so obviously they have some investment in this franchise, but if this movie underperforms, is that it for it from a theatrical standpoint, or would they do Tron, animated version, or would they do a smaller form?
Well, you saw it took 15 years since Legacy to even get this film, and obviously it took longer from the first Tron to Legacy. The Tron franchise is a unpopular Disney IP that has a fan base that also can become mainstream just by the regular moviegoers that just want to see awesome blockbuster on screen. That's what Legacy was, right? Awesome. If you want to see an awesome like a summer blockbuster in October, Tron Ares is it. You're going to be satisfied.
Sure, a franchise that is most identifiable or probably most revered for its visuals.
Yeah, and it's a cool IP. I just don't know why it's getting mismanaged, because it could be their front and center IP for Disney amongst the other ones. I could have seen it as the next Marvel, right? And this is something they created pretty much. So with Tron going back, you asked the question what the future might hold for it. Well, how it ended should have been the second half of the film.
I totally agree.
Which I'm going to say spoilers right now. We're going to go in deep spoilers. But at the end, Jared Leto is on a search for Cora, Olivia Wilde's character, based on a photograph to learn how to survive in the real world, pretty much, and how to adapt to it and just be part of it as a program. And
Well, and expanding on that, even Dillinger, Evan Peters' role, all of his part in the movie is basically in his base, company, wherever he's at. It's like this giant warehouse looking deal. Like that's where he is. And he's just, if he's not in that big open space in the warehouse, he's like on his computer.
yeah.
And he's just kind of a stereotypical bad guy. Well, spoilers, but at the end of the movie, he is in the digital world.
Yeah, he's in the grid.
And you see some references to, his
grandpa.
His grandfather, yes. And so like some interesting things there. And I'm like, yes, I'm way more interested in him being in this world. I'm interested in the search for Cora. Like those are things that I would have liked to see, to your point. And that's what it ends on. And we didn't get any of that here. And I'm like,
so the second half should have been, as you just mentioned, Dillinger, Evan Peters Dillinger becoming Master Control, as he does, donning his grandfather's awesome iconic costume or suit, and going after people in the real world. And on top of it, you have Jared Leto trying to find Cora to maybe help him with something, and then have Cora and them team up. See, Olivia Wilde in this movie would have been great over Greta Lee. If I saw Leto with Wilde teaming up in this film, it would have been awesome. I thought it would have been a much better film, and that's what they set up though. So the true Tron sequel, Tron 3, which is after Tron Ares, I'm going to call it because I thought this was like 2.65, will be a great film if they decide to do it. I think they really sprinkled some great stuff, and if they really lean into it, and then bring back Flynn's son. I keep forgetting his name. Who's in Tulsa
I
King.
just call him Flynn's son. I can't remember what the character's name is.
This is horrible. But if they bring back Flynn's son and then bring back Bridges and just do a proper follow-up to Legacy.
Sam Flynn. So Jeff Bridges is Kevin Flynn. Garrett.
No, but what's
Hedlund
the actor's name though?
Flynn.
I keep forgetting.
Garrett Hedlund.
Yes, Garrett. Yeah. That's what I want to see. What they ended on is what I expected in the second half.
Yes.
But so if I had to rank the Tron saga, or whatever you call it, Tron Legacy still holds the crown for me, followed by the original Tron. I'm gonna slip in Tron Uprising, the animated series, and then I'm gonna follow with Tron Ares.
I mean, my order's the same, except I haven't seen Uprising, so I can't include that. But I would say 2, 1, 3.
Yeah. But honestly, it's so close between the original and the second one, even though it's like obviously old, like it's not the technology they had back then. There's just something so charming, and it's the fact that it's the first film that introduced us to this world, something special. So honestly, like it's a very close for the original and Legacy. Like it's almost head to head to me. I still have, I mean, it's the reason I love Legacy is because of the first Tron film.
Right? Where would you insert into your Tron rankings the Tron world from Kingdom Hearts 2, circa 2004-ish when that game came out? Maybe
Kingdom
later.
Hearts? The Kingdom Hearts games? Oh, I mean,
yeah. Did you play the Kingdom Hearts games? The second one has a Tron world in it.
It does. I've seen all that stuff. I don't think I played that one. Is that the one when it came out for the Wii? It had the Tron stuff in it, I believe.
No, it was on the PlayStation. I played it on PlayStation 2.
I love that Kingdom Hearts thing, and hopefully they make a Kingdom Hearts movie. Like they are so close to, I think, pulling the trigger on something like that. But I'll say this, like I said, Ares feels like a filler movie. It's still very bold. It's beautifully with the graphics and effects. The soundtrack's awesome. There is quite a bit of fan service to some extent, but the story does fumble quite a bit on what you get, especially because of the screenplay, and then the casting was a little off for me. But like I said, it's a summer blockbuster in October, and I'm all for that. So Drew, what will be your biggest takeaway from Tron Ares? Like, would you recommend it?
I recommend, if you want to go see something that looks cool on screen, go see it for the visuals. But there's not too much about the plotting that could be like, man, yeah, you're gonna get super invested in the story of Tron. No, it's if you want to go see cool light cycles or neat ships, and like I did think some of the design, we didn't get into this as much, but some of the designs of like the flying suits and things that they have for the characters that are new here, like I thought looked really cool. So every time a new vehicle popped up, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's slick. Some of them, you don't get to see for very long. The only one that I thought was kind of a waste was there's a like water, almost like a jet ski, like a Tron jet ski, when during a brief scene in the digital world, but during the part where they're using that, there's like nothing happening. I was like, it's just almost like a scene set to music. It's more for the 9 Inch Nails of it all at that time.
That's true.
Than it is for the plot or what's happening in the movie.
I'm not sure if there is one, but there needs to be a Tron Bible. As I mean, I need something that really like layers down like all the rules and like how the grid works and all this stuff. I want like a true like history book of the grid based in the Tron world. And kind of study that, because I'm really intrigued by like what they introduced in the first film and how they follow up in the second film, and I just want to learn more about like, I don't know if there's even, I think they're just making up as they go probably.
I'm sure there's somebody that's even nerdier than us that is creating
so.
like a Tron wiki fandom online that has an encyclopedia of Tron terminology and lore.
But we can't wait 15 years for the next one. Like,
could you imagine, Sean? Imagine it's 2040 and you and I
are doing this again
in our 50s, and we're, here we are. It's episode 900 of the Moviegoers Society, and we're covering Tron once again.
I mean, we're going to, and I'm going to have a new popcorn bucket by then probably, or one that probably just feeds me, a popcorn bucket that's already feeding me.
I'm not giving us enough credit. There would be we'd be at least on episode 1600 of Movie.
I was just going to say, you're kind of low on that, maybe more than that.
Right.
No, but I'm excited. I'm going to catch it again this Sunday, IMAX 3D. Going to want to see what other Easter eggs I missed and stuff like that. I'm going to have to roll my eyes when it comes to the side characters and the comedy relief, because I was like, we didn't get that much in Legacy, I believe. But what I'm probably going to do this weekend is rewatch the first 2 films and then see how this one works. I'd
have to go back and see what the criticisms were of Legacy. Was it too self-serious and they're, whatever? And then so they're like, throw in some comedy here that like really doesn't work.
And that's a good question. What it was?
Were they trying to course correct?
Yeah, I just remember when it was so bad, but I enjoyed it when I saw it in IMAX 3D back then.
Me too. And directed by Joseph Kosinski, who has now directed Top Gun Maverick, which was a huge, and F1, one of your favorite movies of the year this year. He directed Tron Legacy. So still out there making huge blockbusters that are super entertaining on the big screen.
Yeah. And the director for Tron Ares, Joachim Rønning or whatever his name is a really good director. And so I don't fault him at all for this movie having some dips. He did his best. He pulled off a visually great film, and it is entertaining. But we'll just see where those end credits or whatever you want to call it, mid-credit or just ending, takes us. You'd be seated for the next film if it doesn't come sooner or later.
I mean, if they make Tron this, I feel like I say this with every franchise, even when we've kind of sat and like pick the movie apart. I'm like, if they make more of them, I'll be there for it. But it's true. Like, I like the visuals of Tron. And I think if I didn't like how it all looked, I'd be really dogging on this movie hardcore. But like, I'm with you. I'm like, even though there's a lot to pick apart, I didn't hate watching it. Like, right. I found things to enjoy. It's a hard movie to analyze, because when you really start digging into it, there's just not much there.
No, it's super polished looking with a great soundtrack and awesome. But it kind of covers up the bad screenplay. They do enough for you to kind of ignore the bad screenplay on that.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I think that wraps up our Tron Ares review. If you are seeing it, I guess a lot of people saw it tonight. Some people are watching.
My theater was pretty busy for a Thursday night, and I know a lot of kids are getting out for like fall break and things like that. School. I know that my kindergartner doesn't have school tomorrow because of fall break. So could be that there's a little bit more people out there, but my theater was pretty busy.
Yeah. So tell us if you end up watching it, if you're watching IMAX 3 or what format you're watching it, what you thought of it. If the grid, going back to the grid, really reignited you for the Tron franchise. But yeah, make sure you follow us on Letterboxd. Drew and I are on there. Follow Nerdtropolis on all the socials for more reviews, interviews, and movie talk. We have a lot of fun stuff coming your way. Lots from Drew. Drew, before we sign off, coming up soon, if anyone's in the San Antonio area, I'll be at SpaceCon San Antonio. I got a lot of awesome panels to moderate. The big names. I'll just tease them now. But if you're a fan of Marvel, there's some fun stuff there. If you're a fan of Starship Troopers, fun stuff there. Fun Star Trek. There's a lot of stuff. And especially if you're a big fan of WandaVision, wink, wink. I said both. WandaVision. I have an exciting panel I'll be hosting and moderating at SpaceCon. That's going to be one of the highlights for me. I can already tell on that. And if you're a big fan of The Matrix and X-Files, and amongst other things, there's a lot going on at SpaceCon. I will be moderating panels there. So if you see me at SpaceCon San Antonio, please say hello. I'm super excited to give you all some great panels there. Anything you want to end on, Drew? Last call for thoughts on Tron, movie-going experience. Are you going to catch Roofman? That's the question I have.
I'd like to see it. I don't know if I'm going to catch it this weekend just because things are busy. I will say next week I'm planning to go see Black Phone 2 again. You know,
that's right. We are going to watch that. So we'll watch that together then. That'll be a horror date night.
Yeah, I saw it at Fantastic Fest and really enjoyed it enough that I'm going to go see it again at the screening and see it with you, and that'll be fun. And then also, as you mentioned at the top of the show, check out the interview with Camille Sullivan from Shelby Oaks, a movie that I really liked, and check that out when it comes out in a few weeks when it's released wide. Yeah,
and that interview should be up this weekend. Also, check out my Robert Patrick interview talking Tulsa King, Peacemaker, and revisiting a Terminator legacy and some other stuff. That was a great conversation I had as well, and a lot of other stuff you can check out on nerdtropolis.com. Thanks for listening. Once again, I'm Sean Tajipour, the mayor of Nerdtropolis,
and I'm Drew Munhausen, the professional media and movie mastermind,
and we'll see you at the movie.